Oh hey, Ian, are you okay? You look terrible.
Oh yeah, hi Josh. I haven't been getting much sleep recently, what with all the work we've been putting into the Battle for Azeroth pre-patch.
Oh, hey, that's great, and that totally explains the otherwise very out-of-character beard. So, is the patch ready to go?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's full of loads of awesome new features and quests. It's a perfect lead-in to the new expansion. We're really excited.
That's great. You don't look very excited.
Yeah, well, we've got a slight problem. You see, one of these buttons launches the pre-patch onto the servers, squishes the stats, launches communities, and sets fire to Teldressil.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's awesome. But the other button breaks everything.
What?
It literally destroys the game, unravels the code like a ball of string. Login issues, bugs, glitches, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria, that sort of thing.
Why on earth would you have a button that does that?
I don't know, okay? It was just a dev joke. It seemed really funny at the time. Like, oh, don't touch this button, lol. Like I say, we've had some really late nights on this, okay?
That sounds good. Makes sense. So, which is which?
Okay, so here's the thing. We forgot which is which. In hindsight, I totally get that it was a bad idea to make both buttons look exactly the same and to mount them right next to each other, but that's the decision we made, and now I'm too scared to actually press either of them.
Okay, great. So, I was playing on my shaman the other day, and something happened that taught me a valuable lesson. Sometimes you just have to believe in yourself and trust in your ability to press the right button.
Wait, you still play shaman? I thought we killed that spec.
That's not really relevant. Press the button, Ian. Let's get this pre-patch out there where it belongs. I believe in you.
You know what? You're right. And actually, I think it was almost certainly this one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Battle for Azeroth 8.0 pre-patch. Let's get this thing out there.
Did it work?
I don't know. Let's see if Teldressil's on fire like it should be. Oh man.
This is fine.
Knowledge is power.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the weekly reset. And really, it's kind of difficult to know where to start. Obviously this show has been off the air for a little bit because of our whole getting married and going on honeymoon thing, but seriously, we leave you alone for 3 weeks, guys. 21 little days, and what do? Did you do? Of course, this week was a truly momentous one in WoW, as we essentially said goodbye to an expansion which will surely go down as one of the all-time greats in Legion. And no, I'm not going to get into a discussion about that now, okay, because it's not what this video is about. So yes, it will go down as one of the all-time greats, suck me. And enter the world of 8.0.1 and the launch of the Battle for Azeroth pre-patch. I love pre-patch. And even though pre-patch launched on Tuesday on North American servers and Wednesday in the EU, our whole getting married and going on honeymoon thing meant that we weren't able to actually play any of it until Friday, by which time we'd already watched Ian and Law's latest developer Q&A, so perhaps we should start there. After all, it'd be great to hear their opinion on the patch before we dive in ourselves. I mean, who better to tell us about what we can expect and enjoy about pre-patch, which, by the way, I love, than the very man who is ultimately responsible for it. I mean, it'll probably be quite a boring Q&A, because Ian and Law will undoubtedly spend most of it just patting each other on the back and congratulating themselves on a job well done. And all the questions probably won't even be questions, they'll just be enthusiastic thank you messages from the community, or poems about how brilliant pre-patch is. But hey, you know, they've both come in their best morally grey tops, so let's watch some anyway, right?
Obviously, you know, not the smoothest of pre-patch launches.
Oh.
Not the experience that we wanted to deliver, not the experience we hope to deliver, not the experience you deserve.
Ooh. Oh, you know, don't be too hard on yourself there, Ian. I'm sure you did all you could, and it's probably not as bad as all that. What major patch doesn't have a few teething troubles on the rollout, eh? I'm pretty sure if we just take a quick trip to the forums, then we'll see that players are excited enough about finally getting their hands on the pre-patch and all the new features, they'll be more than willing to forgive the usual bugs and server problems, which are, after all, a pretty standard part of most patches. Because when all is said and done, it's the eve of a new expansion, the dawning of a new era of World of Warcraft, and the continuation of the most epic adventure that gaming has ever... No, it was a shit show. Obviously. This pre-patch is the biggest disaster I've ever seen. This is beyond even acceptable. You've actually made the game unplayable. BFA is killing WoW. Oh. Okay, well, no, that does sound pretty bad, actually. But beyond the bugs, at least there's loads of new World of No Funcraft. All the fun that was in this game has been removed. This pre-patch may be the worst god-awful change I've ever seen in this game. Blizz knew they were trying to polish a turd. This might be where World of Warcraft and I part ways. Okay, yeah, but hang on. The pre-patch isn't even out yet. It's probably worth just... I'm about to start crying. If the pre-patch is this bad, so how the launch of BFA will be... Okay, don't worry, mate. I knew what you meant. Why did everyone who have been playing the game loyally get punished and lose everything they have been working for in the game? What a turd of an update. Well, shit, that's not great, is it? But come on, it can't be as bad as... At least Selfie Patch didn't make almost every aspect of the game worse or dysfunctional. WoD 2.0 as predicted. If it looks awful and it plays awful, then it is awful. You don't even like the new action bar? The new action bar looks awful. I cancelled my subscription. Cheers, another lost paying subscriber. Right, okay. So, it seems that Teldressil is not the only thing on fire in 8.0, literally everything else is as well. In fact, whatever actually happened when pre-patch went live, and we will get to that, the word shitshow actually feels like a massive understatement this time out. This was a shit ritual, an actual form-wide summoning of a greater shitlord elemental that contaminated the very clouds to rain down its feces of foreign drama on us all below. Why? What does everyone hate so much about the Battle for Azeroth pre-patch? Well, to be honest, there are a couple of different factors at play here. So let's begin with looking at what went wrong. The North American release in particular was as unstable as anything we've seen from WoW in years. And when I say there's always bugs in a new patch, I'm not actually being entirely truthful, because recently we've been kind of spoiled with how smoothly everything has tended to go in Legion. This seemed completely out of keeping with recent very high standards. Players having major problems logging in for hours after the patch went live, and Blizz taking servers down multiple times in an attempt to sort those issues out. A bit like a Gerard Butler movie. Not great, but not entirely unexpected. And as it turns out, a lot of this was to do with the new Blizzard Communities, which was basically doing something boring and technical and messing everything up. So it's a bit of a shame that when all that was sorted, people still didn't really love communities. Some players complaining that in this world of Discord, there's no point to them, which is something I totally disagree with, because honestly, being able to hop into a voice channel that you know all of the randoms in your group also definitely 100% have access to, that's a great idea. And the quality of the actual comms is great. What I do have more sympathy for is concerns that the ranks and permissions have been overly simplified, and among other things, you can't ban a player from a channel. You can only kick them out, leaving them free to come back using the same invite link they just used to join the group in the first place. And although I can't imagine that'll be a problem for, say, the lovely people we have in our T&E Patreon community, because obviously they're the cleverest, most likable and attractive people there are, but for other communities, you can see how it might be an issue. A talk for another day though, because the real fun came when players did manage to get in the game. Because here's the thing, 8.0.1 is a pre-patch that changes numerous aspects of this game at a fundamental level. And by now, WoW's code is a bit like a Jenga tower. Bits have been built, precariously balancing on other bits by thousands of different people over the years, and the slightest alteration can have pretty extreme and totally unforeseen consequences. For example, BFA sees a whole new stat squish, where your spells and abilities are going to do much smaller damage numbers, and the eye level on gear is taking a similar drop. So if your character was in the eye level 960s before the patch, then you're going to be in the low 200s after the patch. A pretty nothing change really, assuming the maths is good and everything works as it should, except it didn't work as it should. The thing is, we've had a big stat squish before in WoW, but we've never had a stat squish and the new scaling tech that we have in the game now. So directly after pre-patch, we had guilds taking 4 or 5 tanks into Antorus because they were getting so absolutely destroyed by the Hounds of Sargeras. We had enemies in old dungeons or in the open world doing hilariously stupid damage on random abilities. We had player abilities doing no damage. We had mobs not even trying to scale their level and casually crushing unsuspecting players who attack them, or actually maybe level 110 mobs now have less health than a level 80 mob. Maybe items that are supposed to be upgrades are actually now downgrades because basically the scaling is a mess. And okay, yes, there are 250,000 spells in the game, so even if 8.0.1 has broken 250 of them, that's still only 0.1%, which is a pretty good margin of error really, but it still feels like a lot when a Murloc one-shots you in Elwyn Forest. Not that that happened to me, you understand, I just heard that it happened. I heard it happened to someone else. And then there's just the weird stuff, like Kel'Thalas being bald, Tempest Keep was merely a short back and sides. Okay, I'll work on that one. Missing textures and general walking backwards weirdness, like loads of walking backwards for some reason. All of these things are clearly bugs. They are obviously mistakes. Many have already been hotfixed, like bonus XP from daily random dungeons, and many others, like not being able to complete your Order Hall campaigns and therefore not being able to get your class mounts because you can't reach artifact level 35 now, they will be fixed. They are not how Blizzard want the game to be. And here's the actual problem, because really, that's not what people are most upset about. What about the stuff that is working as Blizzard intended? Things like World Quest Group Finder being disabled, or the switch to personal loot, or character boosts no longer also boosting your professions, or just the whole existence of Warmode, or the GCD changes, or the new action bars, or the new anchor points which give gnomes and goblin players just a slightly different point of view, because these are things that are also splitting the community, but aren't going to be a simple hotfix to solve. And that's what I think the main problem here is. Yes, the pre-patch was unusually buggy, outrageously buggy, broken to the point of actual comedy genius buggy, but that just exasperated some of the strong feelings that a lot of people have about the changes going on in Battle for Azeroth already, which created something of a perfect salt storm for parts of the player base. And here's another thing that might surprise you. They are right to be upset, because 8.0.1 has ruined the game. Not with Warmode, which I love, or class changes, which I'm genuinely mostly having fun with, or the stat squish, which is clearly overall a really good thing once everything works, and not because there were bugs, because honestly, if you think Team 2 hasn't been giving everything they have for weeks leading up to this launch to try and make it as smooth as possible, then frankly, you don't know much about Team 2, because these guys are heroes. No, what has killed the game for me in this pre-patch is the cruel, vicious, totally unnecessary nerf of Bear Tartar. You're telling me I have to walk at normal speed when I run old dungeons? Screw you, Blizzard, you are actual monsters.
So, with that out of the way, and all things being equal, what actually is going on in pre-patch this week? Well, not much, as it turns out. If you expected to jump in and have the mystery of who burns Teldressil explained, or actually any new story or events to play through at all, then you'll have been disappointed, because all of that is starting in the second installment. This first drop was very much an implementation week for the new systems and mechanic to bed in before we start properly next reset. A decision that seems a really good call in hindsight. You were given enough Wakening essences in your weekly chest to go out and buy the legendary of your choice on every character. You had all your individual prestige levels combined into one glorious account-wide whole. You have your artifact, which last we saw we were filling with the power of Sargeras' sword, which was overloading it, and it was all very exciting, and okay, now it's just gone all grey and lifeless with no real explanation. Okay, fine. Well, it's not like I was expecting a cinematic or anything. Although, you know, I wouldn't have said no to a cinematic, but a few lines of text might have been nice, or a cinematic, whatever, really. Enough time to sort out your add-ons and bars and macros and talents, all ready for the War of Thorns event starting next time. This will see players begin the battle in Darkshore, and will open up world quests in the area that will hopefully keep you busy for a week before the actual burning of Teldressil happens the week after that. Then we get a cinematic. I don't hate time-gated story content as much as some people do. I think it makes sense in a perpetual, massively multiplayer game world like WoW, but I am kind of itching to see the good stuff right about now. Something that got all our attention, though, was the trailer for the new Warbringers series. 3 animated shorts focusing on some of the main players leading into the new expansion. Don't forget, this is the series that before Legion gave us super hot Khadgar, in an amazing story where Khadgar rode on a griffin and looked really hot, and then Khadgar looked at some books and was all hot and moody, and then, oh, I can't remember, there was some demon or something, but anyway, Khadgar was more dilf than the demon could handle, and in the end, we all love Khadgar. And with the new animations focusing on Jaina, Azshara, and Sylvanas, it looks like Warbringers is going to continue the easy on the eye formula this time out, which is fine by me. They all look to be pretty dark tales of how hardship and loss shaped each of the characters and forged them into the people we'll see in BFA, with Sylvanas' tale showing especially nice symmetry between Arthas' invasion of her homeland and her invasion of Teldressil. A bit of the old becoming what I once despised most, perhaps? And as Azshara plunges to the bottom of the ocean during the Sundering, is it possible we might get our first official glimpse of a certain tentacly old god? All very exciting stuff, but one of the most interesting questions is when these actually will be released. The blue post that accompanies the trailer says, in the coming weeks, and if these films are supposed to come out before the new expansion launches, then you'd probably expect the first drop this week or next. And that's the burning of Teldressil we see right at the end in Sylvanas' short, so the timing could be very important indeed. And finally, some old favorites return this pre-patch. Chromatic Sword is back! It hasn't been available since Cataclysm launched, but poor old Scalebelly and Stranglethorn is about to get farmed relentlessly, once again by players wanting to get their hands on the sword, which is so shiny and colorful you totally don't even notice how low res it is. Definitely worth waiting in a cave for 3 hours at 3 AM for. Go for it. And if long forgotten swords that are 3 different colors aren't your thing, how about a long forgotten reputation? It was never possible to reach Exalted with the clan Gelkis or Magram Centaur before they became unattainable in Cataclysm when their quest line was removed. Now though, you can get both to Exalted really quickly by just completing a short quest line. A quest line that you'll be able to start again even if you completed it all those years ago, which you definitely did because everyone knows you totally played in vanilla, we all believe you. There was lots of talk of this maybe being a mistake that would be fixed and players could lose their sort of hard-earned reputations, but Blizz allowing old players to repeat the quest would suggest that they are finally ready to let you keep both these Centaur clans on your friends list at last, which is awesome. There's a couple of steps you'll have to take to get that starter quest in Desolace though, so I'd recommend checking out the handy WoWhead guide that we've linked in the description. And you won't get a tabard for your sort of hard work for the Centaurs, but if you're a demon hunter, you can now get a sweet new one for absolutely no work at all. The Slayer's tabard has been worn by some NPCs in Legion, but never available to players until now. Valeria Nightsong will sell you this especially cool looking piece of kit for just 100 gold, just so long as you've completed your Class Order Hall campaign. I mean, it will cover up your demon hunter's epic cleavage, so it's not like you're ever actually going to wear it, but it's nice for the collection, you know?
Hey, what's that on your finger, Evitel?
Oh, I know, my nail polish is chipping.
It's so nice.
It's really
no, I mean this bad boy, because it kind of doesn't really match, but it kind of does with this bad boy.
Oh, wow. What do you think happens if we, like, put them together?
Well, let's see. Our powers combined. Oh no, just hurt.
It just
You scratched
oh.
it. You scratched it. It's.
Sorry.
Oh, it's taken off. So we haven't been here for the last 3 weeks because, well, not on this show anyway.
Oh yeah.
Because we were totally getting mazzered.
We did it.
And I promise I'll never talk about that again. I'll never
Please
mention
never
the word
say
mazzered again.
I no, just don't.
No, because that might be enough to just end it all. But it was lovely. We're gonna talk about that properly with our patrons, and then we're gonna show some pictures and stuff here about all of that. It was basically the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say?
Yeah, exactly. And then we went on honeymoon, and then I had to go to PreachCon.
Directly from the honeymoon, by the way.
Directly from honeymoon. We were in Marbella, in Spain. We had a lovely time, lovely
Don't know
honeymoon.
if you can tell.
And then we went to the plane station, to the airport. And at the airport, I always have to force myself to say airport, not plane station.
I know. I know. That's not a joke.
We literally kind of went on different planes. I went to Manchester, you came home to London. And then I had an amazing time at PreachCon as well.
Yeah.
And met some awesome people and Preach. And a great time was had by all.
I'm actually really sad that I missed out on PreachCon.
We met some good people, man.
Yeah,
It was really, really cool. So if we met you at Preach, met some guildies at Preach.
No way.
At PreachCon, who I'd never met before. Met some patrons, which is always an absolute joy as well. And basically everything's wonderful in life. But that's why some of this script might have sounded like it was written at 3 a.m. Literally like a couple of hours ago, because it was. Yeah. So thanks for that. You don't want to hear about any of that anyway, because you want to know, finally, who won our amazing t-shirt competition.
And the winners
are these people on screen now. We haven't actually done the winners when we're filming this.
No.
Which is why they're coming up on the screen now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But congratulations.
Yeah, awesome. Well done. For the Alliance, for the Horde.
For Sylvanas.
For Illidan.
For Illidan.
There were 4 t-shirts. I just kept saying the word 4,
man.
and that helped me realise. It's going to take us maybe a couple of weeks to get back into the swing of this show. That's absolutely fine. Congratulations to the winners.
Congrats.
I can't wait for you to get your t-shirts. You probably can't wait either. But you can't wait as much as I can't wait. But that's not even all, because we've got another competition.
Oh my god.
What's that next to your lovely arm?
What is that? Wow.
That looks like 3 hardback
That
copies
is-
of the celebrated and fantastic new Warcraft novel, Before the Storm by Christy Golden.
That's exactly what that is.
Now, look, okay, I am a big fan of many of the people who work at Blizzard, but Christy Golden's one of my absolute faves, because
pretty
I think
cool.
she's an awesome writer. And this book, you've never read a Warcraft book before, have you?
I hadn't actually.
And then you read this one, and
I loved
you're
it.
a bit of a snob when it comes to books, aren't you?
I am a little bit of a snob, just kind of generally.
Yeah.
But just like in
Yeah,
my
man.
life. But I loved this. I thought it was great. I read it, started reading it a while ago, wrapped it up on our mini moon. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's actually really, really good.
It is brilliantly written.
I've now read
great
it
tale.
twice. I read it twice, which, really put my Infinite Jest progress back.
Yeah. Oh.
So that's just had to take a little backseat while I was reading this.
that
But we got
never happens,
3
does it?
hardback copies.
Yeah.
Not bad, mate.
For you. Okay, so we're going to keep this nice and simple. All you have to do to win one of these 3 lovely books is like the video.
Like the video, smash that like button.
Crush it.
Like you're on your honeymoon.
And then write a comment in the comment section for Anduin or for Sylvanas.
Yeah, don't write them both. Just
Don't write them
four.
both. Just
And-
choose one. I mean, whichever you choose, you will still get the same book.
Yeah,
but
you're just showing your allegiance.
Exactly.
Because we're getting in with the whole BFA
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. And the closing date for this competition is 11:59 BST, British Standard Time,
Summertime.
British Summer Time, but it's standard across Britain, so I was
Right.
right. I was totally right.
Right.
On the 26th, that's the Thursday, so going into Friday, we'll be drawing the winners ready for the next weekly.
So it's going to be a quick one. So get in there
Get in there.
and crush that.
Crush, smash it, write it, win it, read it, love it. I think it's about time we wrap this one up.
Hey,
Don't you?
that's not a bad idea.
So thank you for joining us today on our... Was it a triumphant return?
I think it was.
Ah, thanks. I liked it too. If you enjoyed this episode, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give their actual real life money to make these videos happen. Honestly, without the patrons, there literally would have been no videos for the last 3 weeks.
No,
As
honestly.
it happens, we got 3 of our class guides out, and that's all down to them.
Yeah.
You literally saved our channel. You saved my dignity. And you saved, not money, because you gave it to us, but thanks.
No, but yeah, thank you.
If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. And remember, my name is Vampirial. No, my name is Taliesin from me and my new wife.
Proof. Evitel.
Until next time, cheerio. Imanar, the wife binder.
Yeah. Yeah.